What if I told you the Raiders are hiding a scandal that could bench Rodgers before the season even starts? The Las Vegas Raiders just made a decision so reckless, even their fans are terrified. Trading for 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers? Betting $200 million on an injury-prone quarterback? Hiring a coach with a vendetta? This isn't a rebuild, it's a suicide mission. And here's the worst part. Hidden in their roster is a ticking time bomb that could detonate by Week 5. This video exposes the Raiders' secret weakness, why their 2025 Super Bowl run is already doomed, and the one play that could save them. If you think you know this team, think again. Hit play. Your jaw will drop. 2024 season recap. The 2024 season was a wild ride for the Raiders, a story of hope, heartbreak, and what-ifs. It started with fireworks. In Week 1, they stunned the Kansas City Chiefs with a last-second touchdown, proving they could hang with the NFL's best. Quarterback Derek Carr threw for 350 yards, connecting with superstar receiver Davante Adams like they'd been playing together for a decade. The defense, led by Max Crosby, looked fierce, sacking Patrick Mahomes 3 times. Raider Nation erupted. This was their year. But the NFL is a marathon, not a sprint. By mid-season, cracks began to show. Injuries hit hard. Josh Jacobs, the heart of the running game, went down with a knee injury in Week 6. The defense, already thin, lost Chandler Jones to a torn Achilles. Suddenly, the Raiders were scrambling. They lost 3 straight games, including a brutal overtime defeat to the Chargers. Yet there were flashes of brilliance. In Week 12, rookie tight end Michael Mayer caught a game-winning touchdown against the Ravens, dragging 2 defenders into the end zone. The Raiders' resilience kept playoff hopes alive until Week 17. Facing the Broncos in a must-win game, Carr threw a costly interception in the final minute. The Raiders lost 24-21. Their season ended at 9-8, close but no cigar. The aftermath, a locker room divided. Rumors swirled about Carr's future. Fans demanded changes, and the front office knew the 2025 offseason would define this franchise for years to come. Offseason moves 1. The Aaron Rodgers gamble. Genius or desperation? The Las Vegas Raiders didn't just sign Aaron Rodgers. They bet their entire future on him. In a move that sent shockwaves through the NFL, the Raiders traded 2 first-round picks and a starting linebacker to the Jets for the 41-year-old quarterback. Critics exploded. He's 1 hit away from retirement. $200 million for a guy who hasn't won a playoff game since 2020. But Raiders owner Mark Davis fired back. Legends don't retire, they reload. Rodgers arrived in Vegas with a chip on his shoulder and a promise. I didn't come here to retire. I came here to bury the Chiefs. His preseason chemistry with Davante Adams, reuniting their Packers magic, was electric. But behind the hype lurked a terrifying question. What happens if Rodgers' body breaks down? The Raiders answer, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. 2. Sean Payton's revenge tour, fixing the Raiders' broken defense. The Raiders didn't stop with Rodgers. They dropped a bombshell by hiring Sean Payton, the Super Bowl winning coach with a reputation for turning trash into treasure. Payton's mission? Fix the NFL's 28th ranked defense. His first move, hiring Dan Quinn, the architect of the Legion of Boom, as defensive coordinator. Payton and Quinn wasted no time. They gutted the defense, cutting 3 starters and replacing them with speed. Rookie cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry, drafted 12th overall, became the centerpiece. At Alabama, McKinstry shut down SEC receivers. Now he's tasked with locking down Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson. Payton's message to critics, you think we're crazy? Wait till Week 1. The draft masterstroke, Brock Bowers, the secret weapon. While the Rodgers trade dominated headlines, the Raiders' draft pick might be their smartest move. At number 12, they grabbed Brock Bowers, Georgia's 6'4", 240-pound tight end, a human cheat code. Bowers isn't just a receiver, he's a wrecking ball. In college, he outran linebackers and bulldozed safeties. Now paired with Davante Adams, defensive coordinators are already panicking. Bowers is the missing piece, said Payton. Put him in the slot, and he'll murder linebackers. Put him outside, and he'll outmuscle corners. Good luck stopping that. The gut-wrenching goodbyes. Waller and Renfrow exit. Not every move was celebrated. To afford Rodgers, the Raiders made brutal cuts. Darren Waller, the Pro Bowl tight end and fan favorite, was traded to the Giants for a bag of peanuts, a fifth-round pick. Hunter Renfrow, the slot wizard with Velcro hands, was dumped to the Patriots. Raider Nation revolted. "Waller was family," screamed one fan. "Renfrow bailed us out in every close game." But GM Dave Ziegler stayed cold. Sentimentality doesn't win Super Bowls. 5th August fire. Training camp secrets revealed. By August, the Raiders' new identity was clear. Ruthless. Rodgers and Adams torched the defense in joint practices, with Adams pulling off one-handed catches that broke the internet. Max Crosby, now 15 pounds heavier, vowed to break the single-season sack record. "I'm coming for 20 sacks, and Mahomes' soul," he growled. But the real story was Peyton's defense. Quinn unleashed chaos, safeties blitzing, corners playing press coverage, and rookie Kool-Aid locking down Adams in one-on-one drills. When reporters asked Adams about facing McKinstry, he smirked. "That kid's going to be a problem for everyone else." 6. The $200 million question. Will this all explode? The Raiders' offseason was bold, brash, and borderline reckless. They traded the future for a 41-year-old quarterback. They hired a coach with a vendetta. They let fan favorites walk. But here's the truth nobody's admitting. This isn't a rebuild, it's a heist. The Raiders aren't playing for 2026. They're playing for right now. Rodgers knows the stakes. If we don't win a Super Bowl, this entire experiment fails. And I didn't come here to fail. Key players to watch: 1. Aaron Rodgers, the last dance of a gunslinger. At 41, Aaron Rodgers isn't just playing football, he's chasing immortality. After a bitter exit from New York, the 4-time MVP arrived in Vegas with a fire nobody expected. In preseason, he didn't just throw passes, he launched lasers, threading needles between defenders like it was 2014 all over again. His chemistry with Davante Adams, telepathic. In one practice, Rodgers audibled at the line, Adams broke off his route, and they connected for a 50-yard TD without saying a word. But here's the terrifying truth. Rodgers' right arm holds the Raiders' fate. One brutal hit, one awkward sack, and the $200 million gamble collapses. The offensive line knows it. Adams knows it. And Rodgers? He's doubling down. "I didn't come here to retire," he snarled at reporters. "I came here to bury the AFC West." 2. Davante Adams, the silent assassin. Davante Adams doesn't talk trash. He lets his feet do the talking. The NFL's deadliest route runner turned Raiders training camp into his personal highlight reel. With Darren Waller gone, Adams faces a nightmare. Double teams every snap. But here's the twist. Rookie Brock Bowers might be his savior. In a preseason drill, Adams drew 2 defenders, leaving Bowers wide open for an easy touchdown. Adams grinned, "Double me all day. My boy Brock will feast." If Bowers becomes the threat the Raiders crave, Adams could shatter his own records. But if defenses ignore Bowers, Adams will face coverage so tight, even his signature toe tap catches might not save him. 3. Max Crosby, the madman's redemption. Max Crosby isn't human. He's a 6'5", 265-pound tornado with a motor that never quits. After 14 sacks in 2024, he's vowed to hit 20 sacks in 2025, a number only legends like Reggie White have touched. New defensive coordinator Dan Quinn is unleashing him like never before. Gone are the days of Crosby sticking to the edge. Quinn's scheme lets him roam, blitzing from the inside, stunting around tackles, even dropping into coverage. In camp, Crosby intercepted Rodgers twice. "I'm coming for everyone," he warned. If Quinn's gamble works, Crosby won't just break records, he'll rewrite the Raiders' defensive history. 4th, Kool-Aid McKinstry, the rookie who plays like a villain. The Raiders' secondary was a joke in 2024. Enter Kool-Aid McKinstry, the cocky Alabama cornerback with a name as bold as his game. In camp, he shadowed Davante Adams and held him to just 2 catches. Adams, rarely impressed, admitted, That kid's different. But here's the problem. NFL receivers aren't college kids. When McKinstry faced the Chargers' Keenan Allen in preseason, Allen burned him for a 30-yard gain. McKinstry's response? I'll learn, and then I'll shut him down. If he adapts fast, the Raiders' weakest link becomes a weapon. If not, the Chiefs' Patrick Mahomes will eat him alive. 5. Josh Jacobs, the beast unleashed. Josh Jacobs isn't just back, he's angry. After a 2024 season derailed by injuries, the former rushing champ hit camp with a vengeance. With Rodgers under center, defenses can't stack the box. That means Jacobs will feast on play action, where his violent cuts and breakaway speed shine. In a scrimmage, Jacobs took a simple screen pass, juked 2 defenders, and bulldozed a safety into the end zone. Rodgers laughed. That's the Josh I remember. But the real test comes in week 1. Can Jacobs survive 17 games, or will his body betray him again? X factor, Brock Bowers, the rookie who could break the NFL. Brock Bowers isn't a tight end. He's a 6'4", 240-pound cheat code, too fast for linebackers, too strong for corners. In college, he scored 26 touchdowns in 3 years. Now, paired with Adams and Rodgers, he's the Raiders' ultimate wild card. During red zone drills, Bowers did the unthinkable. He out-jumped all-pro safety Marcus Epps for a touchdown, then pancaked a linebacker on the next play. Sean Payton's verdict? He's not a rookie, he's a weapon. If Bowers dominates early, the Raiders' offense becomes unstoppable. If he struggles, defenses will smother Adams, and the house of cards collapses. Strengths and weaknesses. Strengths 1. Offensive firepower, the NFL's nightmare quartet. Rodgers' laser throws, Adams' route wizardry, Jacobs' bulldozing runs, and Bowers' rookie explosiveness create a perfect storm. Defenses can't double-team Adams without leaving Bowers wide open, or Jacobs charging through a gap. In preseason, Adams burned double coverage for a 60-yard touchdown, while Bowers scored untouched on the next drive. Pick your poison, Adams smirked. We've got too many killers. Second pass rush, Crosby and Wilson, the sack symphony. Max Crosby, 14 sacks in 2024, and Tyree Wilson, 11 sacks. Aren't just rushers, they're predators. Crosby's non-stop motor and Wilson's raw power forced 25 quarterback hurries last year. New DC Dan Quinn unleashes them in chaos packages. Crosby blitzing from the inside, Wilson crashing the edge. In camp, they collapsed the pocket so fast, Rodgers joked, I aged 5 years today. 3. Coaching. Payton's chess moves plus Quinn's fury. Sean Payton's playbook is a masterclass in misdirection. He once ran a fake punt with a wide receiver throwing to Rodgers, just to mess with opponents' heads. Meanwhile, Dan Quinn's defense practices controlled violence, with rookies like Kool-Aid McKinstry shadowing Adams in press coverage. We're not just building a team, Payton said. We're building a nightmare. Weaknesses 1-0 line. The thin blue line right tackle Jermaine Elammuner is reliable, but backups like Thayer Munford Jr. struggled in preseason, allowing 3 sacks. When Crosby bulldozed Munford twice in practice, Rodgers barked, "Fix this, or I'll be eating grass by week 3. 2. Secondary, Kool-Aid's lonely war rookie. Kool-Aid McKinstry shines, but behind him, CB2. Nate Hobbs is better in the slot, and 4th-rounder Dekamarion Richardson got torched for 80 yards by Chargers rookie Quentin Johnston. If teams avoid McKinstry, the Raiders' weakest link will burn. 3. Rodgers' health, a ticking time bomb. At 41, Rodgers' durability is a gamble. Backup Aiden O'Connell threw 4 preseason picks against second stringers. When Rams linebacker Ernest Jones flattened Rodgers in practice, the quarterback limped off, a chilling preview of disaster. I'm not glass, Rodgers snapped, but Raider Nation knows. One hit could shatter their Super Bowl dreams. Schedule analysis Week 1 versus Kansas City Chiefs. The revenge game Mahomes versus Rodgers. Dynasty versus desperation. The Raiders haven't beaten Kansas City since 2022, and the stakes couldn't be higher. A win here silences doubters and announces, The AFC West has a new sheriff, but Mahomes thrives under pressure. His 12 touchdown passes against Vegas prove it. If Crosby can't sack him early, the Chiefs' offense will feast. This isn't just a game, Davante Adams said. It's a statement. Week 5, at Baltimore Ravens. Lamar's playground. Lamar Jackson's legs versus Dan Quinn's speed defense. The Ravens quarterback averages 75 rushing yards per game against blitz-heavy teams, and Quinn loves to blitz. Can rookie Kool-Aid McKinstry contain Zay Flowers while spying Lamar? If not, Jackson will turn this into a highlight reel. We'll chase him all day, Crosby vowed, but chasing Lamar is like chasing a ghost. Week 10 versus Cincinnati Bengals, Burrow's revenge tour. Joe Burrow hasn't forgotten the Raiders' 2022 playoff upset. Now with Jamar Chase healthy, he's coming for blood. The Bengals' aerial attack will test the Raiders' shaky secondary, especially if Kool-Aid McKinstry struggles. Adams versus Chase is must-see TV, but the real battle is Rodgers versus Burrow, two gunslingers fighting for AFC supremacy. "This is why I came here," Rodgers said, "to slay dragons." Week 15 versus Los Angeles Chargers. Win or go home. Justin Herbert's cannon arm versus Crosby's fury. The Chargers' revamped O-line, featuring $100 million tackle Rashawn Slater, will try to neutralize Crosby, but Herbert's weakness is pressure up the middle, where Quinn loves to send blitzes. A loss here could knock the Raiders out of playoff contention. "Herbert's good," Crosby shrugged, "but we're built for this." Brutal stretch. Weeks 12 to 14 at Bills versus 49ers at Broncos. 3 games, 3 Super Bowl contenders. The gauntlet starts in Buffalo minus 10-degree wind chill, where Josh Allen's arm and legs will test the Raiders' tired defense. Then the 49ers' Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey bring their precision offense to Vegas. Finally, a mile-high trip to face Russell Wilson and a Broncos team hungry for revenge. Survive this stretch, and the playoffs are within reach. Collapse and the season implodes. "No excuses," Peyton said. "Champions thrive in the grind." Super Bowl chances. The Las Vegas Raiders have the pieces. Rodgers' clutch gene, Adams' magic hands, Crosby's rage-fueled sacks, and Sean Payton's galaxy brain schemes. But in the AFC, home to Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Jackson, talent alone isn't enough. This season isn't just about skill, it's about survival. Best case scenario, the perfect storm. Rodgers defies father time, playing all 17 games like it's 2011. Rookie Brock Bowers becomes his safety blanket, racking up 10 touchdowns by week 10. The defense, fueled by Dan Quinn's chaos, cracks the top 10. The Raiders stun the Chiefs twice, steal a thriller in Cincinnati, and finish 12-5, winning the AFC West. In the playoffs, they outgun Miami's speed, outlast Buffalo's cold, and shock Baltimore in overtime. Super Bowl 58 becomes Rodgers versus Stafford, a Hollywood script even Netflix couldn't write. "Why not us?" Adams said. "We've got the guns. Now let's go to war." Worst case scenario, the house of cards collapses. Rodgers takes a brutal hit in week 3, tearing his Achilles. Backup Aiden O'Connell throws 12 interceptions in 8 starts. The secondary, already thin, gets exposed, with rookie Kool-Aid McKinstry struggling against elite wide receivers. Sean Payton's tricks fade as defenses stack the box against Jacobs. The Raiders limp to 7-10, missing the playoffs. Mark Davis blows up the roster, trading Adams and Crosby for draft picks. The 2025 season becomes a cautionary tale. What happens when you gamble everything and lose? "The NFL eats dreamers alive," Peyton warned. No mercy. Prediction, so close, yet so Raiders. The Raiders start hot, 4-1, fueled by Rodgers' revenge tour and Bowers' rookie hype. But the gauntlet, weeks 12 to 14, takes its toll. A narrow loss in Buffalo, a defensive meltdown versus the 49ers, and a mile-high collapse in Denver. They finish 11-6, grabbing a wildcard spot. In the playoffs, they crush Miami in a shootout, but fall to Mahomes in the AFC Championship when a last-minute Rodgers Hail Mary slips through Adams' fingers. "We'll be back," Crosby vows, bloodied but unbowed. This isn't the end, it's the beginning. Conclusion and call to action. The 2025 Raiders aren't just a team, they're a do-or-die mission. A 41-year-old legend, Rodgers, gambling his legacy. A coach, Peyton, plotting revenge. A rookie, Bowers, hungry to burn the NFL to the ground. But here's the brutal truth. This roster is a ticking time bomb. One spark, a Rodgers injury, a locker room feud, a botched trick play, and their Super Bowl dreams blow sky high. Will they rise from the ashes and conquer the AFC's Titans? Or crumble under the weight of their own hype? The answer lies in Week 1, and you won't believe what Sean Payton's hiding up his sleeve. If you're ready for the ride of your life, smash that like button. Drop a fiery comment. Champions if you trust Rodgers' arm, or chokers if you've seen this movie before. Subscribe now, because when Peyton's secret play drops, you'll want front row seats to the explosion. Raider Nation, this isn't just football. It's a revolution, a war cry, a last stand. And whether it ends in confetti or chaos, you'll regret missing a single second. Stay loud, stay ruthless, and remember, fortune favors the bold.